Hey guys, how's it going? It's Flux here. Welcome back to Fluxburgh. We're here again where our little country club area left off last time with this beautiful new little golf course here with all the details we put in last time, that little time lapse there. Got some cool little places to hang out, barbecue or something, and then of course all the nice foliage along this area and some really cool lookout points here that will eventually look on towards the city, of course. A beautiful view here, and then possibly a future amusement park down this way if we decide to do that. But I think it's turned out really well, actually. I'm really happy with this new 9-hole golf course. Now, I did get some comments, people saying, like, oh, it's more than 9 holes. What are you talking about? I did actually design this to be well, there's a couple holes here that aren't actually supposed to be just 2 different holes. So, for example, like this one here is a single hole, and this one here is a single hole, but this one was supposed to be like a 2-part hole, so you like hit it over here and then hit it over into, this section this way. There's like some trees in the way, and you're supposed to, I don't know, of course there's not going to be like straight trees like this, but a lot of these trees you can't get rid of. They're just part of the asset. But I thought it made it a little more realistic in that they don't all look like the same hole. They have some like multi-part or multi-tier sections. Same with this one over here. So if you're wondering why it looks like there's like 12 or 13 holes, it's actually only 9. Same with the last one here. You hit it across over here on this side. It's a big gap. You're supposed to hit it over. So that was kind of the idea with that. But yeah, anyway, so I got a lot of requests for a actual like country club house or building. It's like a reception building or something like that. And I went and looked for a pretty long time in the workshop, and I really couldn't find a lot of things that seemed like they'd fit that criteria very well. So after a long time of searching, I came up with one idea that I wanted to use. I want to use this little beach resort thing here. I think it kind of feels, to me at least, like a bit of a reception area, like a country club house kind of area. Now, if we get a better asset in the future, I may switch it out, but I think for now I want to use this one. So you can see I kind of pulled out the land a bit here. We're going to try to make a nice little area for this. But today what I want to do is I want to, first of all, of course, replace that and get some water and some power linked up to the new island resort area over here. And then I think the first thing I want to work on here after we get all this stuff kind of squared away is I want to start defining the location for our amusement park, and I want to start working on the amusement park over here on this side. Now, I'd really like to be able to build some actual like roads and some avenues down this way that kind of go alongside the amusement park. So I don't want to like box this whole area out and make it impossible to get across here. So we'll try and do that as best we can and not cut anything off here. And then I'm still unsure about where the racetrack's going to go. I'm thinking on a separate island over here, but that's still kind of up in the air. And then, of course, we'll do the airport over here on this side as well. So anyway, let's get to it. I'll go ahead and pull out this little road down this way. So I think I want to have this avenue kind of wind down this mountain a little bit here. So why don't we just pull it out a tiny bit for now, maybe like that far. And I'll see if I can fit this, oops, wrong thing. Oh, I did get some cool things though. I got this little village entrance kind of thing, which looks pretty sweet. I also got this new local beach, and I got this shady park thing. So I got a lot of different new assets. I also got some cool casinos over here. Let me see if I can find these. I think they're actually not in 6, but they're in 5. Let me just see. Nope, they're in 6. Must be just further down this way. What happened to the casinos? What the heck? Oh, here they are. Okay. We got this Rio Grande Casino. We've got the Nero's Palace Casino, which looks pretty sweet. So these are going to look really, and also this one too, this big Centrum Casino. So we're going to have some really awesome casinos, probably along the coast somewhere. I was thinking down this way, like a downtown area with a big casino strip somewhere over here. So that's going to be something we'll use. I also got some really cool glass buildings somewhere around here. I forgot exactly where they are, but quite a few of those. And then we'll, of course, use the theme park stuff for the theme park. I think I had a roller coaster in here somewhere. Ah, there it is. The ADI roller coaster. And quite a few more in like different areas. So anyway, what did I do with that? What did I do with that other building? I think it was like the very end. Here we go. Awesome. So for this one, I'd like to get it kind of close to this ledge here without actually hitting the last hole here. Let's see if we can pull this over a tiny bit. Again, don't want to hit the golf course, but I'd like to get as close as possible. I think that's actually pretty good. Let's go ahead and try that. See if we can get to that last little bit before we hit the golf course. There we go. That's our nice little beach resort area over here. The little half pipe piece and a nice little reception building over here. The club, I guess, you would come in this way and do all that stuff. Got the parking down this way still. I think I might do a little bit of parking over here and some nice terraforming the ledge a little bit so we can have some good views on this side of everything else as well. But let's go ahead and first figure out how we're going to get this thing down the mountain again. I was thinking, again, kind of like a winding road that went this way. So why don't we try... I'm going to pull it out a bit further first so we can go ahead and work out where the parking lot's going to go. I'm thinking we do like a little turn off over here. If we do this, then we can leave room on both sides for some nice parking here and there. Now, I wonder what we should use for the parking lot. Oh yeah, I got these really cool looking like stone walls. I might end up using this as well, kind of like along the perimeter as like a, I don't know, like the country club entryway kind of area. It just seems like something you'd see at a country club, and like some gated in communities or something. So we'll probably try and use these throughout the build as well. But parking lot wise, not really sure what I want to use. I think I might use the same ones I used earlier, which are these. Oops, these? No. Where's the 2x4 and the 4x4? Here we go. Here's the 4x4 that I like a lot. So we'll use these two, and then I might go in 4 more. So like that. Oops, that was 5 more. That's all right. I'm gonna actually go all the way in real quick, like this, and then I'll put these where we want them to go. So we'll have maybe the 2 there, and 3 more like that, maybe. Of course, I'll level that out a little bit, but I think it looks pretty good actually. I'm gonna delete this road, or actually, you know what? Interesting. Maybe we should. Let's see. I don't want to all look the same either. Let me level this out a bit first so we can. I need to actually redo this. For some reason, this wasn't level with the with that clubhouse there. Just a minute. We'll go ahead and fix that best we can. There we go. Much better. Okay. Let's make this kind of like an interesting parking lot. It doesn't have to be so boring and cut and dry. If we went like this, okay, that's cutting off some parking though, isn't it? That's 4, yeah. Hang on a minute, we need to make this a bit better. If we go from here, then we can have a 4 and a 2 on that side. Okay, I'm liking this now. So we'll do the 4, the 4, the 2 here, another 4 on this side. And I was thinking 1 more space for a 4, like so. Oh, that's pretty good actually. I think I like that. Nice little parking center there. And then I'm thinking we actually use these little gates we got just a minute ago. Let me just, again, we're gonna pull this out time more than we need just so we can figure it all out, and then we'll kind of cut back and make it all look natural afterwards. So I think our best exit route is going to be down this side of the mountain and not on this side, just because I really want to have the amusement park over here kind of elevated a bit on this side, and I don't want to have to push it too far, you know, close to this this little river over here, because then we got not enough room for the avenue. So why don't we try having it wrap around this way? I'm going to actually try to pull this up a little bit here if we can. Get a little ledge going. It comes down this way. Let's just give this a shot. I really have no idea how steep this is going to end up being. Hopefully it's not too bad. I'm kind of imagining like a little switchback here. Let me try and raise some of this stuff a little bit so we're not going so steep around this corner here. There we go. And then we'll let the road kind of do the terraforming here. Let me just see if we can get this to look clean. I'll go ahead and do this far. It's a little bit... That's good, I think, actually. That's probably about the right amount. And then for this... Oops. That's not far enough, is it? Distance too close? There we go. That's what we had before. Okay, that's a pretty good little turnaround there. I'm liking that amount of steepness. Now, why don't we see if we can get this to go even? That's the hard part, really. It's kind of making a bump here. Why don't we try to smooth this out just a tiny bit? It's kind of hard to do. You actually have to use this tool first, the flattening tool, and then try to smooth it. It kind of works better. Just because there's kind of something weird about trying to use the smoothing tool on areas that have like defined heights based on like buildings or roads. So if you try to, say, smooth an area like this that's got like this thing, it's just going to start making like big spiky things, and it won't look very good. So you kind of need to do this first and bring it out, and then start flattening it a little bit, and that makes it much better. Okay. Let's try this. I'm actually going to go forward a tiny bit in this direction before we start turning around again. See if we can get it to lower. Is that really lowering by much? I don't really think it actually did. Kind of surprised, actually, that it didn't really lower by that much. Let's try and make this a bit more of a defined edge. Okay, this might work. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. So now we can turn around again. Actually, why don't we just try and do the same, like, tight corners we were doing earlier? That kind of seems like a cool way. Let's see, that's not far enough out. There we go. There's the 3. And I think for this last one, we're not going to go for the nice clean cut edge again. Like this one did, like a nice 180-degree turn. We'll try to do a little more natural of a approach to get down. We got to do some serious raising of land, though, to get this more even. Even then, like I said, you kind of have to give it some room away from the road here, or else we get some pretty bad ledges there. And for some reason, his smoothing tool is like really, really aggressive. Like you just click it once and it just starts like cutting away really fast. Kind of interesting the way that works. I'll take off this tool here. Alright, let's see what happens if I just go down. I'm kind of curious now. If we give it enough room. Ooh, I don't really want to make a bridge though. Alright, let's try giving it some more room. What if we have it kind of wrap around this way? That would be kind of cool, actually. Have it go like around itself over here on this side a little bit. Of course, we'll lower the height as we get further down. It's really hard to use this tool to make a even slope. These are the kind of things I usually would just like speed up, but I kind of want to show it. I think it's kind of interesting to see the process of making these terraformed roads here. It's actually a really easy to use tool once you get used to it. At first, it really did feel like a really hard tool to get used to. I don't know, it's kind of weird. It's not really intuitive at first, like how each tool works. And some of them have like weird quirks where you need to like work around certain things that they do. Especially this tool here, or not this tool, the smoothing tool. And this one, I don't really know what this one does besides make giant holes. Like, I genuinely have no idea what else this is made for. Literally all it does is just, like, make giant holes like that. So I just don't mess with it. I really don't know what it's supposed to do. I'm sure, ooh, I clicked it again. That was brilliant. You can Control Z also to remove things you've done in the past, which is kind of useful. I always forget about that, though, and I end up fixing it myself. I will say, though, my original fear of using this tool, which was just like, I hope I don't mess something up permanently and not be able to fix it with the tools we have. Kind of getting over that now. I'm kind of realizing that it's actually pretty easy to make whatever you want with these tools. So if for some reason you really messed something up, you could pretty easily rebuild everything without any problems. Once you like learn the tool more anyway. Maybe not like right away, but I'm pretty confident in my ability to like fix any mistakes that I make after, you know, using this tool for a little while. I actually pretty much entirely terraformed this whole interchange here with no real problems. Some kind of weird things will happen though, especially with the roads. If you try to like terraform something and then build something over top of a tunnel, it makes some weird world holes and stuff, but that's to be expected with a tool. It's honestly, this is probably like one of the best modded in tools I've ever seen. Like there's a lot of tools that people mod in, and you know, compared to the default tools, but really I almost forget sometimes this isn't like an actual part of the game. Like it really does feel like a tool made by Colossal Order. It really works very well, and it's pretty easy to control after you get used to it. So anyway, let's keep this thing going down. It's kind of flat right now, not really lowering by enough. Although it is an avenue, so it probably shouldn't get too steep. We'll try to keep it nice and okay. So I'll bring this out a little bit more, and then of course I'll lower it quite a bit here, especially over here. And it's okay if it's not perfect, because the road tool definitely does a lot when it comes to leveling out everything and kind of terraforming for itself. As long as you have the general start and end point and enough land in between to not make a bridge, then you're pretty much good to go. So we'll keep going down here. See, that was kind of the case where we had a little bit of a bump that caused kind of a weird lump in the road. Let's try to minimize that if we can. Alright, let's try this one more time. There we go. That's better. We're getting there on the little road to get to the country club up here. It's definitely pretty high up compared to the rest of the map. And I'm definitely going to use some trees, you know, some foliage and some bushes and all that stuff to make this look a little bit nicer. Right now it's kind of a bare little avenue. It looks a little bit weird, but not a big deal. I think I might do a little bit more and then basically be there. I don't think we need to do much more with this road. It's just about at the ground level anyway, and I'm probably going to have some elevated pieces up here for the amusement park, so I don't really want to mess with that. In fact, I think I'm actually going to switch it back a little bit closer than I am right now. I think right now we're a little bit too close for the theme park's going to be, and I'm kind of anticipating raising the land a bit for the theme park, so I don't really want to get this too close. Let me try making a little turnaround over here. I think I'll use that same strategy though, the same distance here. It's like a 3x3, I think, like that. That's the measurement we used. And then I'll go ahead and make some more room here real quick. And again, it's always better to make more room than what you think you need, and then fix it later than try to do things on pieces of land that aren't big enough. It's always harder to do it like that. Alright. We'll just go ahead and level this stuff out. Bring this out a bit and smooth it out. There we go. We're actually getting pretty close to the ground here. There we go. Kind of hard to see if there'll be trees in the way. I'm going to go ahead and delete these trees. I'm not really worried about the tree count anymore because I got that mod that removes that limit, but I still have a bit of a habit of getting rid of these trees before I build over them. Just seems kind of wrong to have trees in the count that aren't even being used or being seen by the player. Alright, that's looking pretty good. Wow, we're just about there, aren't we? Alright, that last part wasn't very good. I'm going to go ahead and leave it here, though. I think this is a good spot to stop the road, just because I don't really know what we're going to do with these highways here, and I don't want to have this road interfering with that, but that's a pretty good little place for that. And then for the country club, I kind of think it'd be cool to have like a little gated entrance area. Why don't we try and use these little gate things? See, this is a pretty big piece, isn't it? I think it'll do a bit of terraforming as well. So let's just see what it looks like. Oh, look at that. It actually doesn't terraform. I think I saw that in the mod description. It said it didn't do any terraforming. It just does its own thing. It doesn't block any placement of trees. Wow, that's actually really, really well engineered. I hope they do more more fences like this, because I know with the oh, that actually does delete trees, doesn't it? But it doesn't terraform, so that's good. And I think its hitbox for trees is pretty small, so you're not gonna have too many problems with that. So that's actually really awesome. I'm pleasantly surprised, actually. That's pretty great. Makes my life much easier anyway. So I'm just gonna go ahead and bring this over here. It's gonna be probably in the way of some trees for a minute while we get closer, but just want to get it nice and up against this this road here, and then we'll grab the 4-piece, and we'll bring it down this way. Keep it as straight as we can. And I'm thinking we have it end right about here. So let's try and get it up to that point as best we can. They should be pretty straight here, so let's try and get these pretty much synced up there. There we go. This is a really cool looking stone wall, though. I like it a lot. Very well done. In fact, the shadows even seem like they're kind of rough textured, which is really impressive. It's a pretty cool looking little wall there. Whoever made that. Alright. And then, again, we'll wrap up over here. I'll grab that corner piece, actually. Why did I go to that? I don't know why I did that. Let's see if we can get this to... ooh, that's almost perfect. Okay, there we go. Let's do that. There we go. And then... what is this? Oh, this is the pizzeria that I got. This one's really cool as well. Look at this. This thing is gorgeous. I haven't seen it in-game yet, but it looked really, really cool. I'll just put it down somewhere so we can look at it for a minute. It's like a little pizzeria area. It's got some, like, outdoor seating and stuff. Really, really cool. Lots of, like, tropical assets and, like, casinos coming out recently, so I'm just, like, downloading all of them. And we'll put them all down along the coast and everything, make it look really nice. It'll be awesome. Okay. Get this stone wall again over here on this side. Actually, I kind of wish this went a bit further out. Let me just do this a little bit differently. We'll come out to, like, here. How about that? That's pretty good. There we go. And then we'll have this angle kind of follow up over here on this side. I'm kind of thinking we actually have a little gate out here once we get closer. I'll do lots of trees and stuff on this side that make it look really nice. So bring it out to about there. Alright, we need to bring this out a tiny bit more. Of course, I'll definitely go back and shape this all up later on, but for now, I just wanted to get these gates in, get these walls in and everything, make it look nice. Okay, let's see if we can find the gate piece real quick. I want to put it right here. Oops. Right here. There we go. Actually, almost seems like it'd fit better. I wonder what this looks like. Hang on. I think this will clip through the original wall, and we can do that and have two gates here. But if not, I'll have to redo the wall. Let me see what that looks like real quick. Yeah, that's good. I like that. Have the two little gates there, and then we'll have the next wall piece come in, and we'll just have it go right over top that last bit of gate there. Awesome. I'll use the 4-piece here so we can get out a little ways. I don't even need the corner piece, really. We can just use this again. Not a big deal. Oh, these don't really do the corners very well, do they? Okay, that makes sense. That's actually kind of difficult to work with. Well, you know, I don't think I really need a gate on this side, though. It seems like the cliff over here will do a pretty good job of preventing anyone from getting into the country club. Let's assess this for a minute, but I think first of all, let's do this differently. Let's get this a bit closer to the side. Doesn't really seem like we got it as close as it could have gone. I'll try here instead. Let's see how that looks like. I see why it's kind of hard to do. Let's see if we can get it as close as possible. There we go, and then we'll just rebuild this last one here. Uh-oh, hope we can fit it. Oh, perfect, we can. Okay. There we go. And that's good. Okay, so... yeah, you know, I think this is actually probably just fine. First of all, do the gate areas... okay, you can't build them over top of these. Oh, wow. It's going to fit here, though. That's actually interesting. Can we make that work somehow? Let's see how that looks. Ooh, here we go. Okay. Maybe we can make this work then. Let's see how close we can get to these little stall things without actually hitting them. Uh-oh. Here's where our problems begin. Okay, so it looks, yeah, it looks like the one thing with these... okay, I actually don't know how well this is going to go over. Yeah, just because these aren't all... okay. Just, oops, that was the palm tree. Hang on, we'll get that back. That would be cool, though. Interesting idea. I'll use one of these instead. That looks kind of nice. Yeah, so now we don't only need like walls over here. Although we could do a gate. Hang on, let's see if this is a better spot for a gate. Oh, these are both walkways. These aren't roads, are they? Here, hang on, we can actually delete this one real quick once we get close enough. Let me delete this actually by hand. If I can get to it. Kind of a weird angle with these palm trees in the way. So I'll delete that real quick, and then we'll put the gate as close as possible to this thing. So like right... ooh, this might be a little bit too far away to get to. I guess we'll find out in a minute here. Well, you know, actually, we can make this like a little dirt pathway. That would kind of make sense, right? Yeah, hang on a minute. I want to use this gate on this side too, actually. Yeah, that's kind of cool. It like goes right into the palm trees too, which is cool. Put the gate there. Then we'll have some walkways. Probably going to be dirt, judging by how this gate works with these things. Oh, actually, it looks like you can go pretty much right up to it. You just can't be physically on it. Here's a real question. Will it connect through the gate? I guess we'll find out here. It just doesn't, but, ooh, it does on this side, though. That looks nice. I like that. I'm going to stick with that. So, there's the edge. So, we'll just have this go straight up to the edge of the tennis courts on this side, then. Kind of wall this area off. Okay, wow, way too steep. Hang on. Let's actually get rid of this thing. I didn't know how long it was going to be. And then we'll use some individual ones so we can make this a little more fine-tuned. Might have to kind of come back and tidy up this area with the trees later on. See how close we can get these. There we go. Start moving in this direction again. There we go. And then we can do a little gate over here for these guys if they want to walk over or something. Oops, that's okay. Not a big deal. Put the gate in here. Like that. Uh-oh. That might be a little bit close, actually. Hang on a minute. Alright. And then, guess we're there? Right? Is that close enough? I honestly can't really... I think it's about close enough. That's fine. Not a big deal. I'll have a little bit there. There's bushes and trees in the way. Alright, so I decided to skip some of that stuff. I was kind of just like dragging on with the whole placing of these walls around our new uh, clubhouse area. So this is the final result. You can see I actually put down some cool little cypress trees over here. They actually fit really well between these two little asset barriers. Like there's like right around the asset, there's some barriers where you can't place anything, but if you put them like right between, you can fit in nice little trees around here. It looks pretty nice. Kind of surrounded this area. Still not totally finished with it yet. I might do some foliage along this inner area if we can fit some in between the asset barriers, but you may notice this is new. I decided to go back and look again for some more clubhousey type things. I didn't really like the way this is looking with the I guess the previous parking lots weren't really that exciting, and that little plaza was kind of meant for the casino. So went with this one. Looks pretty good. It's supposed to be like a mansion or something. I don't really know, but it looks kind of like a clubhouse to me. So we use that. Use some Agula's cool new wild grass here with some foliage around this area, and of course some more parking lots around this. And then this will just be kind of like the, I guess like the hotel area of the resort. So it's going to be, you know, a place to stay if you don't live locally, I guess. You know, very nice still. I want to keep it. It looks really awesome. And of course we'll come back and fix this stuff. But for now, I wanted to get started on the amusement park. So you can see I kind of started with something here. This is a very baseline design. It's not really finished at all. You know, I'm going to go back and do some foliage, some details along the inside areas. But I was kind of struggling to find how I wanted to do this and how I wanted to have like a centerpiece to this entire amusement park. And I think this is the best way to go. We use some of these little like path edge things that I guess are made for like the edge of the water. So they're supposed to be like walkways, like a boardwalk or something. I think they look pretty good for this purpose though. I also did some terraforming to make this Ferris wheel kind of stand up on the ground a bit. I'll go ahead and probably grab some wall assets or maybe some trees to kind of cover up this stuff around here. But I just wanted to get the baseline stuff done because I was honestly actually tried doing this live, and it was like literally 30 minutes to an hour of me just kind of like playing around with stuff. So I decided to just cut that part out. It wasn't very exciting. But anyway, this is what we got so far. Looking pretty good. Looking pretty solid. I'm kind of expecting to do most of this stuff next episode because there's still a lot to be done on this amusement park, but I thought we'd start at least today, kind of plan locations of our bigger attractions. So one of the biggest ones we have, I think, is in 5. It's either in 5 or 6, or maybe it's 4. Actually, I think it was 4. Oh no, it was 6. Okay, here's the ADI roller coaster. Slope too steep. That's interesting. What? Well, it could always go like straight back. That's not a bad location. Seems like it has a pretty large hitbox. Wow, look at this. It's like, I mean, I say hitbox, that's definitely the wrong term, but look at this. It's like the collision box, I guess. It's like it thinks that it's already occupied. Like, what? That's strange. Let's try putting it back here and just see what the properties of this thing are to begin with. Looks like this is going to be a little bit off center. Let's try back over here for now, actually. Let's just see what this looks like real quick. I'm kind of curious what this track looks like. Looks pretty cool, actually. Obviously, there's going to be some l.a.g stuff. You know, you zoom out and you can't even see it, which makes sense because I'm assuming this track is probably pretty high poly, and they probably don't want to deal with, you know, large amounts of polygons. In fact, they probably used more than they needed to. I don't know. I mean, this one was, I think, one of the track types that won for the Tempted challenge. So I guess they knew what they were doing. But anyway, that's that. So we have that one in. I don't know if I'll put it there, but I don't really see where else it can go. Here, we can actually find out for sure. Let me just save real quick before I do this. We can find out exactly where the collision box on this thing is by doing some terraforming, and it'll kind of reveal exactly, unless this thing doesn't get affected by this. Let's see. I'm curious now. I'll just define this height here, and then we'll try moving around. Okay, so there's the collision box. Oh, it's not actually too bad. I don't know why it wasn't letting me place anywhere else, and that's kind of weird. Control Z that. Yeah, that's a little disappointing that it doesn't fit in nicer places, but I mean, it'd be nice if it fit here, honestly. That's where I really want it to be. I wonder if I can try to fit, like, squeeze this in the corner, maybe? let's see. Let me try just kind of pulling this down a little tiny bit. Again, I don't want to be messing with the hole too much. It looks like I'm not really there yet, but we're getting pretty close, especially in that spot. I just wanted to refresh that real quick, and we'll see about this. Now, I've noticed some weird properties with this tool. I was kind of mentioning it when I was building this, but obviously that got cut out. So it seems like occasionally whenever you click, if you like click on a slope section or something, it'll start not flattening, but like keeping and maintaining a height, but like in a slope form. And I think that that's what it's supposed to do. And it seems like if I right click on a flat spot like this, then it'll like reset the angle or something. Because occasionally I'll try to level things out and it won't level out necessarily. It'll start sloping down. I'm not really sure again how this tool works. Again, there's really a lot to be learned about this set. I think there's more to it than just, you know, right and left clicking. I don't know. I really don't know, if I'm being honest. I need to work with it more. I've only had it for probably, what, like 10 episodes, maybe a little more. I guess I used it for the airport. That's probably when I first got it. So it's been a while. It's just there's a lot of things to learn about it. So anyway, let's see if we can get this to fit in here. Ooh, we can. Oh, that's perfect. Okay. Awesome. That is perfect. Okay. I'm okay with this. Again, it's a little disappointing that the log just like totally disappears whenever you zoom out, but I'm not gonna complain too much. That's okay. Why don't we try doing a little bit of roughening of the edges around here? I kind of want this to feel like it's almost cutting in a bit to the mountain. So I'll just try pulling some stuff out a little bit. Maybe have this kind of come up this way. I'll do that a bit over here as well. And I actually probably will have some elevated stuff over here anyway, but just for the sake of this ride, it would be cool to have some stuff like this. Maybe not make it super obvious that it's a square collision box, though, if we can help it. In fact, I'm going to try to cut this back in just a tiny bit in certain spots to kind of hide that. Refresh that little bit of terrain there. It kind of glitched out. Okay, and again, I'll probably move this stuff as well, but that's a good spot for that one. I like that. And, of course, we'll come back and do all the foliage and stuff later on, but we have that one, and then we had quite a bit of other, like, roller coaster type things. I think they're in my my parks over here. Down this way. Ooh, the fun zone. This one's pretty cool. You also have this park with roller coaster. I think this is supposed to be like a full-size roller coaster, but I'm not really sure. I suppose that's like a junior coaster. I kind of wish it was bigger than this. I've seen a lot of assets using the same coaster types. Maybe someone's made a bigger version of this. I'm going to try and see what the other one looked like, though. I had, like, a different roller coaster in a different set. It might have been 2. Yes, here we go. The Exclusive Coaster Park, Part 2. This must also be a part of that. Again, they seem a little on the small side to me, I will say. But I guess that's all right. I guess. I don't know. Again, this is all that I really saw when I downloaded these, so... Is DT, is that the same as this? This is ADI. Okay, so I bet somebody else made a different one. Or maybe these are from the same... Yeah, I'm pretty sure that these are actually made by the same person, and this one's made by somebody else. But that's okay. So where to put these then? That's the question. I was actually kind of thinking... Maybe we could have some buildings kind of growing in over here on this side, and then have the roller coasters off a little bit. Have their own sections and everything. It just seems weird that the golf cart or the go-karts are actually like the same size as these roller coasters. I don't know. It's just the way they're made, I guess. But let's put this in the back. I think back here is a good spot for it. Maybe like, maybe we could do a little bit of like road work over here. Have it come out like, let's see, what is that? 3 out. Same thing over here, 3 out, and then come in over here like this and have the fun zone back here. Just keep it all kind of... Oh, it's not centered, is it? Okay, we need to do something different then. Let's try going... Oops, wrong one. We'll go 2 out over here, and much further out on this side. And then once I connect this, I'm going to delete this one and try making a diagonal. There we go. That's kind of nice. And then this section can be the fun zone. So it's kind of offset a bit. Makes it a bit easier to make this all fit in here. Let's try... Ooh, that's perfect, too. Just the right distance. We'll put this thing down here. It's supposed to be... Yeah, I guess guess go-karts and maybe like a little arcade or something. There's some batting cage. That's kind of cool, actually. Okay, I'll take that. And this will look much better when we have the trees and stuff, of course. But anyway, then that leaves the carousel. Ooh, the balloon. That's something I didn't really think about before. Hot air balloon could. Ooh, that could be in the entrance. Actually, that's kind of a cool spot, isn't it? I kind of like that, actually. Only thing is it has parking spaces. It kind of blocks this. I might put this somewhere else, actually, but it's cool. Definitely cool. I'll keep that in mind. So you have the carousel. That one fits pretty nicely right here, but I don't think we're gonna... Wait. Is that the carousel? Really? Wow, that is significantly smaller than I thought it was. I don't know. For some reason, when you look at the picture, it looks so much bigger. Okay, that's alright, though. That fits just fine. Awesome. So there's the... That'll be our entrance point then, I guess, is the carousel. Nice little centerpiece for the park. We can have some different connections down this way, maybe, like this. Hate how they don't, like, connect perfectly, but that's alright. Can we... Nope, it, like, snaps on here, but we can't even use it. Okay, that's weird. Well, actually, I wonder how close we can get to this. Hang on, I'm just curious now. Some of these, yeah, this one's not one of them, but some of these you can get really, really close to the asset before it starts clipping. This is not one of those times, but, well, that's decently close. There you go. It looks like it's going into it. That's fine. Just gonna have it do that. Whatever. Not bad. And we'll come back and maybe do some foliage filling over here to kind of hide these imperfections over here. No big deal. Now, I want to have the wooden coaster kind of off this ledge over here. I think it'd be kind of cool to have it looking off over the water. Almost like a boardwalk wooden coaster. So, let's see if we can make that happen. Well, we have the exclusive coaster 2, or whatever this thing is. And I think I'm going to try and have buildings over here. Some, like, little commercial buildings of some sort. Maybe, like, the mall or something. Hey, this might actually be kind of cool. I think I had a better mall asset downloaded somewhere else, but let me just see what this looks like real quick. I'm kind of curious now how this thing would look. It almost looks like, well, it's got the parking spots. I don't know if I actually like that much. Might revisit that in a minute, but it kind of looks, or at least reminds me of some shops you'd see on the strip. So I think I'm gonna go back actually and look for some different assets for this side, because I don't really want to put down the roller coasters yet until we have the buildings squared away on the sides, you know, like a little village area walking in. So I think I'm gonna go look for some of those and possibly consider doing some zoning. I don't really know if I want to have commercial there, because that might cause some cars to try and drive on this road, which would be a little bit annoying. A little more than a little bit annoying, and look pretty weird. So we'll try to avoid having that happen. But I think we'll call it for today. That was a pretty successful little episode there. We'll come back and we'll work more in the theme park. That's the next episode, though. And then hopefully we can finally, like, finalize this area and do the detailing and all that stuff, and figure out the rest of this road network so we can finish up this interchange we kind of stopped in the middle of. So that's the plan. Hope you guys enjoyed. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.